Hi, and today we're going to look at Canvas quizzes, which is a great way to give students instant results on how they're doing on worksheets, quizzes, or any assessment that you give them. Okay, so let's take a quick look at how we would create a quiz. I am going to navigate to my modules in my course and then find my module I want to add a quiz to. Here's Unit 1. I'm going to go ahead and click the plus button. And I'm going to change the drop down from assignments to quiz. So I have some quizzes in my course already, but from here I want to create a new quiz. So I'll select the top choice and then I'll give this quiz a name. Click Add Item. You'll see this quiz is now in my module. You can tell it's a quiz because it has a little rocket ship next to it. I'll click on it to open it up. And I'll have some settings I can set up for the quiz. For example, I want the quiz to be worth 100 points, not 0. And then I want those to display as a percentage instead of points. You can play with these settings and see what works for you. I'm going to scroll past some of these more advanced settings, but down at the bottom you can see where you can specifically set a time for the quiz to open for students down to the minute and for it to close. When you're done, you're going to click Build and get started adding questions. Okay, so now we've named our quiz and we've set up some basic settings. We're going to click the Build button to open up the question builder. At the top here is an area for you to give some general instructions for your students. Because they are going to be doing this online, I do recommend that you click that pen and add some specific instructions. I'm going to copy my standard question, my standard instructions in here. So things to consider adding here. If you want students to show their work on their worksheet, you would want to tell them that here. If this is a math assessment and you're going to be doing numeric responses, you might want to tell students what you want them to do with leading zeros. And then finally, you might want to include some information about what you want students to do after they view their score. For example, in this situation, I want them to view their score and then use the table and their score to determine their next learning steps. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Done. I've given some pretty good instructions there, I think. And now I'm going to start using this blue plus to add questions to my assessment. So you can see that you have the ability to add multiple choice, fill in the blank. You can do all sorts of things with this and you can explore these. I'm going to show you numeric today. So we're going to click on this. This would be just a question that asks the students to type in a number as an answer. Anytime you create a new question in Canvas, it asks you if you want to give the question a title. This would be important if you were creating an item bank where you could pull these questions in again later. But for the purpose of today, I'm going to skip that. You don't have to give it a question title if you don't want to. Then below that, we are going to add a question stem. So when I click here, it opens up the text editor and I can type my question. So maybe I'm asking students to divide 6 and I want to have that division tool in here. So I'm going to go into Insert and use my equation tool to generate those symbols that I need. So I've typed my question. Now below here, I need to give the response. The answer would be 180, so I'll type that in here. And I do want an exact response, but for other question types, you might want to change this. You could give students a margin of error or a range. Additionally, if there are multiple possible correct answers, if you wanted to include leading zeros or decimal points but beyond 180, you could come in here and say another possible exact answer would be 180.0. Okay, so I have created my question, and I'm going to go ahead and open it back up, because below that here I have the ability to add an on-screen calculator for students if I want, or leave that off. And I can tag this question with an outcome. So I have added outcomes to my course, and so it's as simple as clicking in here and grabbing the grade level I want. I only added my high priority learning targets, so I'm going to just select the one I want. And now I've tagged this question, which will be helpful in the future. Then again, I have some information about item banking down here if you choose to do that. So I'll click Done. And I can continue to create questions as I go. If I don't want to type the questions and I just want students to work from the worksheet, I could, instead of typing a stem, just put question 2 and then the answer, which would be whatever it happens to be. You'll continue this way until you build your entire quiz.